All right. Good afternoon, everybody. This is Jason Flame, host of the Master Motivation Podcast, and this is our edition of Tuesday Thoughts with Mr. Danny Cleary. Our thoughts today, or our word, I should say, is love. And so, Danny, we were talking last week. A couple things happened in our lives, and it was interesting that when I sent you a message and I said, "What's our word going to be?" And you said, "Love." And I happened to be reading a book too. I happened to be reading my 18 Minutes with Jesus, and the whole reading that I was on at that time was describing love. And so, I want to hear your thoughts on where this word came from in your mind.
Um, I think that it's a word that is commonly used or commonly thought about, talked about in so many different facets of life, right? Like there's so many different types of love. There's so many different meanings and feelings that come with love. But where it came from was from a place of support and vulnerability. Last week, if people that follow me on Facebook know that last Thursday, my family and we had to put down our family dog who we had for 16 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it was an incredibly challenging thing to go through. And I'd never really experienced it before because, like I said, I had this dog since I was 16 years old. So like I never, he was my, I guess, he was our first like family dog that we all got as a family. And when we went to the vet to kind of handle it, like the crazy part of it was we're all like adults with jobs and lives and everything going on, and we all canceled everything going on in our day to be together. So we like all stood in this room, like all five of us with our dog, and it was for love for our dog, but it was love and support of our family to lift each other up during during this really tough time. And it really just showed I hadn't seen my family share that kind of real love and support because we haven't had really a need to. Like there's always love and support in your family, but like that very raw, real love and vulnerability was shared, and it just really was an incredible. I left sad, but like incredibly thankful for the love that my family has for each other. It was a really special thing.
Mm-hmm. Well, I remember, you and I were texting back and forth, and of course, we lost Maddie's dog, but our family dog as well about a week before that. And so when you told me the news, when I found out, I was like, oh man, I know that pain. But I was also talking with you about the same thing, that when we took the dog to the vet, it was all four of us. We all went together. We made the decision as a family. We were there to support each other. And so when you were telling me this, I was like, wow, just how awesome is that kind of family love when you could pretty much drop everything and, listen, our pets become our family. So like, it's like a sibling more or less. Right. And having all that love, it was what I said to you. I said, what an amazing sign and just a showing of love and support. And I just think I thought that was beautiful when you told me at that time. Of course, I felt really sad for you at the same time too.
Of course. Yeah. It was a really tremendous thing. And I think that's love can give great strength, but I also think that people can be afraid of love sometimes because, and I don't mean love in like the romantic dating world situation in this particular instance, but love makes people vulnerable. Right. So like, I look at it as like, I was really upset that day. Like I was very emotional and very sad and whatever, like, because of the love I had for my dog. But I also felt that I could have the ability to be that vulnerable because I had the love of my family there to support me. And I think that that's a very powerful thing that people have to not be afraid of. Don't be afraid of vulnerability, because love and support of people in your life, maybe some people aren't blessed to maybe their families situations are different or whatever, but it can be a friend, a coach or whatever, but not be afraid to allow your vulnerability to come through, because the love will protect you. And sometimes you have to feel that vulnerability to grow, right? So I love is a complicated word. I think we could do
Hmm.
5 or 6 different days about the different forms of love. But today, the love was love of family, love of support,
Hmm.
and kind of being protected by your family's love in a time of kind of sadness or uncertainty.
Hmm. I think you're right on point with the fact that there's several types of love. We have the love of our family, we have the love of our friends, and in our case, students or the youth that you work with. There's
Right.
all these different kind of loves. But what really was starting to come to my mind is when you said vulnerable, and we're talking about love and the different kinds of love, is that I think that some people have a hard time loving themselves,
Sure.
and it's so much easier to love someone else. But I think it's important when we talk about vulnerability, about taking a look in the mirror and reminding yourself, because I know this is a challenge for myself, especially as I go through challenges. Of course, I have the love and support of my family, but I have to look in the mirror sometimes and say, I have to remind myself, you're not as bad as you think. You're not as whatever you think, right? And just taking a
Right.
moment to love yourself and take care of yourself, because it's hard to love others when you're not really fully loving yourself. It's hard to have that real feeling of love.
Sure. And I'll always take that avenue of like, because I'll have moments of that as well or whatever. But I always take that to when people say that is that's where the love of God comes in my life,
Hmm.
because I have this superior standard that I have to live to, that I'm trying to reach for. So like the days where I look at myself and I don't feel good enough, or I feel I've fallen short or whatever, I have to remember that it's okay, because I'm always reaching to be better. I'm never
Hmm.
going to get to the ultimate version of that, but I'm loved regardless of it. And that's
Hmm.
what kind of helps me pick myself up and go, it's all right. Like it's going to be okay. I don't have to be afraid of any shortcoming. I don't have to be afraid of any doubt or fears that I might have
Hmm.
about myself, because I know how loved I am by something so powerful I can't even fathom.
Hmm. Well, I
So,
I knew that as soon as I started talking about that, I knew that you were gonna pick right up on that. And the thing is, other than my family, my close family, brothers, sisters, wife, kids, there's two people that constantly remind me of this when I'm having a hard time. Um, I'm reminded of this by you, one, and my other friend Kevin, who I even messaged him. As we were talking about, setting this up, I just said, man, I'm having a hard time with looking in the mirror and reminding myself that I'm okay, that I am good enough. I have this superior standard. He's like, Jesus loves you. You're perfect in Jesus's eyes.
right.
Let that be enough for you today. And I was like, man, it's cool to have friends like that. That's a special kind of love too, to have a friend that reminds you that.
Right. Well, like what I always tell like young people, because young people struggle with this a lot, right? They look in the mirror and they see all of their insecurity, they see all of their
Hmm.
mistake, they see all of the things that nobody else might know. That's what they see in the mirror. It's almost
Hmm.
drawn all over the thing. Like think of the when you're in the shower and it's hot and the steam goes and you can write on the mirror. All their insecurities are written on the mirror at them looking back at them. And I look at it and I go, why, when people ask, why do you believe so heavily in God? Why is God kind of the anchor of my life? And I go, because in a sense, God is someone that looks at me and sees every bad thing I've ever done, every bad thing I've ever said, every insecurity I've ever felt, every good thing I've ever done, every like he's seen all the positive, all the negative, everything in between, all of it. And when I was feeling absolutely the worst, still said, I love you and you're perfect and you're worth. I have plans for you. You're worth the life that you've been given. You're capable of great things. That despite how bad I might feel, that no matter what, God says that to me, no matter what the mirror says back, no matter what the world tells me, God tells me that I am worthy, I am loved, and I am worth the life that I've been given. So like that's everyone has to. If everybody could allow themselves to have that peace in their life, we just
Hmm.
getting real biblical here. This last Sunday, the gospel, the main point is peace be with you, because it's where Jesus comes back and tells his disciples who are afraid, who are scared, because Jesus had died and people are looking for them. And Jesus came back and said, hey, peace be with you. As in, like, don't panic. It's going to be all right. I'm here. I've got you. And like, even though he had died, it was him saying, you have peace because you knew me and you know me. And so if we know him, we love him, we can have that peace regardless of our fears. I got a little long-winded there.
No, it's good, man. That's good. I'm going to say it right here that this is probably one of my favorite Tuesday thoughts that we've had in a little while, because we've gotten just a little bit deeper than just hitting the surface of talking about this word. So I definitely appreciate your thoughts and appreciate you going into it that far. So for now, I'm going to say let's spend some time thinking about loving ourselves and loving each other, and being reminded that God loves us. And let's be back for our next Tuesday thoughts with another word. So if there's a word that you want to hear us talk about, or a theme that you want to hear our thoughts on, we'd love to know. And please make sure to go and subscribe to Master Motivation Podcast on YouTube. And you can find me anywhere else on the social media platforms. But for now, Danny, anything else to add?
That's it. Remember to love God, love yourself, love your neighbor, and invite as many people as you can to join you.
All right. Well, thanks again, Danny. Thanks for joining us. I know you're not feeling well today, but you still took the time to be here and give us your thoughts. So I'll see you guys real soon. We'll see you back on Thursday with the Thursday thoughts, and a couple master motivations coming up this week as well. Go out and make it a great day. Take care.
Peace.